Welcome back to Mr. DC Gaming, everyone. So, sorry I haven't uploaded in 2 weeks. It's just because, it's a summer vacation and I didn't really want to spend all day making YouTube videos, so I've just been out a lot. So, anyways, with that, this is gonna be the first video in a new series I'm making where I just review comics, I just review comics, stories. So the first one of this new one today, for this new comic series, the first one I thought we were going to do is, Tales from the DC Dark Multiverse, Batman Knightfall. If you don't know what Tales from the Dark Multiverse is, basically, during the Dark Knight's Metal Saga event for DC, they introduced the Dark Multiverse concept, which is basically a multiverse below the main one, where it's kind of like a negative reality, but the universes there are all like bad, bad things happen. It was first introduced in Dark Knight's Metal. That's where characters like Dawnbreaker, Red Death, Batman Who Laughs all originated. And then it turned into this, where they decided to do this spin-off series. I've done an unboxing of this a while ago, so you can check that out. But what they did is they decided to do this, and what they did is they would take famous DC events, like for the video we're doing here, Knightfall, and then other ones like Death of Superman, Blackest Night, Infinite Crisis, stuff like that. They would basically take those stories, and rather than having them go the way that they're known for going, they take them in a much different direction, because it's a Dark Multiverse. So anyways, and so the first one is, we're going to get into the Batman Knightfall story. So for a TLDR of what, if you don't know what Batman Knightfall is, what it's about, it was a famous Batman event in the 90s in which Bane was introduced. Bane was this villain that broke all of the all the villains out of Arkham Asylum. And then he eventually breaks Batman's back, and because of that, while Bruce has to get his back fixed, he hires Jean-Paul Valley to take over as Batman. And Jean-Paul Valley gets more violent as stuff goes on. And then Batman has to win the mantle back from Azrael. So, that's the TLDR for Batman Knightfall. And then we're going to review this comic book alternate, Dark Multiverse alternate of Batman Knightfall. So, let's get into it, nearly 3 minutes in. So, it opens up with, what's his name? Tempest Fugunaut, which is basically the Watcher of the Multiverse. He can travel between multiverses and universes. He narrates all stuff, he narrates on the multiverse, and as you can see, he narrates on the multiverse stuff, what he's what he's seen. And then he says something because in the main continuity, he refers to what Azrael did. He says, a broken world long lost ago, to the wrong successor, Jean-Paul Valley, a preservation of the mantle. Eventually, Bruce Wayne returned, looking to fix his mistake and see his city from the usurper. In another world, he was successful, but not here. So, referring to the main continuity, but we're talking about this one. So, let's get into the plot. So, it opens up with this here, where Jean-Paul, after defeating Batman here, says, "I promise you, Bruce, you were right to pick me. I am what Gotham needs, and I'll show you." Basically then, Jean-Paul Valley, or Azrael, begins changing Gotham City in his image. You know, like he tears it down, rebuilds it, and then then it goes on a time jump of 30 years. It's like, as you can see there, 30 years later. So basically what happened is, during these 30 years, Jean-Paul Valley has taken over Gotham City as Batman. And if you've read Knightfall, you know what, like his entire tyrannical behavior, the way he's acting. Like, you have like the Dumas house, like, if you know Saint Dumas, he's turned Wayne Manor into the Dumas home. He's changed up everything in the Batcave, like you can see there. He's changed up everything. Then you have this here, which we have this here. And I know you're thinking where Bruce went. Did he kill Bruce? No, he had not. He's right here. So what he's done is he's took Bruce, trapped him in a tower, and basically turned him into, dismembered his body and put him in that state. And each year he would remove a body part of Bruce. Bruce hates what Azrael has been doing. And, you know, he's like, Bruce tells Azrael things like, I didn't rule it all. You have my disdain. And then Bruce tells Azrael that the Batman the City needs is the one strong enough to save it in a crisis, and that Azrael is weak, paranoid, doped up in venom, and more venom, and that his grasp is slipping, and that he's going to fall. And then Azrael, ignorantly dismissing Bruce, says, "Until next year, Bruce." So as you can see, Azrael has mostly killed all of Batman's villains, you know, because even though Batman is heavily against that kind of thing, he has heavily murdered most of Batman's villains, save for Penguin, who's mentioned in here. And then we get to this character, who is, this is the son of Bane. Because as you know, in this continuity, 30 years ago, Bane had broken Batman's back. So this is Bane's son. Bane's son breaks Bruce free and intends to get revenge on Jean-Paul Valley for what he did to his dad. And they're not alone, because they are also joined by Lady Shiva. Also joined by Lady Shiva, who, and with the Son of Bane and Lady Shiva, they put Bruce's body into a cyborg type body. You know, they give him a cyborg body so that way he can walk and function again. And then in this panel, Saint Dumas shows up and taunts Jean-Paul Valley for what he's been doing. You know, but Jean-Paul Valley, of course, is being ignorant about it, because you can tell in this reality, Jean-Paul Valley is wrong. Well, not wrong, but like, he's not going about the way that, like, he's actually feeling with, like, his body is becoming, like, with all the venom and stuff like that. He won't listen to what other people have to say, and his body's getting weaker with the venom stuff. So then, as Bruce dons a new bat symbol. Well, not bat symbol, bat suit. That right there. He dons it there. So they defeat they go into a fight with Azrael. You know, we have all these, like, his goons. And then, like, Azrael doses himself with more of the venom to hopefully make himself stronger. But in the end, weakens him more, and then the Son of Bane stabs Jean Paul in the chest with that gold dagger. So the Son of Bane and Lady Shiva are tell Azrael stuff like, it's over, you've lost, and that they've done it. And then this is where the twist comes in. And now we open this place back up. We reconnect Gotham. We give people hope again. Together, the Son of Bane says. But then Bruce has a change. He says the world is broken, to which the Son of Bane says that that's what they've been saying, and that they can hopefully fix it. That they can hopefully fix it. But then Bruce is like, it's too late for that, to which Lady Shiva is like, what are you talking about? And then Bruce says, you came here tonight to try to save the world, to reconnect Gotham, and use her and her people to heal a wound. But the truth is, some wounds don't heal. What's broken cannot always be fixed. Sometimes it must be made new, and it must take care of itself. What's good for the world is not what's good for Gotham. And then, basically, he kills Bane's son and Lady Shiva. He kills them both, and then he says to Jean Paul Valley that, for 30 years, you've forced me to watch as you perverted my life's work, my name. But you weren't wrong before, Jean Paul. You did keep this city standing. You started her down her new path. And the truth is, my biggest mistake wasn't choosing you. My biggest mistake was the same as yours, relying on anyone but myself. And now, thankfully, I'll never have to again. Gotham is mine. And I am hers. Basically, Bruce reveals that 30 years of torture had broken him, and he himself has become an evil Batman because of the 30 years of torture that he's went through. And then the comic ends on this shot of Bruce has stapled Azrael on a bat symbol cross. So yeah, that was Tales from the Dark Multiverse, Batman Knightfall. Rating out of 10, 9. I would give it a 9. I like the artwork. The story is cool for the twists that they've done and the stuff they spun on the story of Knightfall. Yeah, like, the writing was cool. Pretty dark. I like the designs of how it's like sort of like the 90s suit designs, but also with the modernized colors. So the story was good. So overall rating, 9 out of 10. Have you guys read Tales from the Dark Multiverse, Batman Knightfall? If you have, let me know what you think. But yeah, that was my first comic review. Yeah. Let me know what you think. See ya.